Hi there, this is Scott Young from Optrix Engineering, and I wanted to talk to you about file shadowing today and the key to a swift recovery from USB and file-based attacks. So, USB devices. This is a great article from Manage Engine, one of our partners, that we've recently posted on Optrix Insider, and I wanted to talk to you about it. And the reasons why is because USB devices, as the article begins with, are undeniably valuable, but they can be dangerous. So why is that? So from a valuable perspective, it's a super easy way of getting files from one computer to another, whether it be internally or if you, especially now that people are working remotely, from the office environment to the home environment. So, and they're cheap, easy to use, no denying that. But how are they dangerous? Well, first off, they could have a virus on them. And that could especially be the case if you have somebody externally, like a sales rep or a vendor or a client, put a presentation or some important files on the USB stick, and when they come into the office, they say, "Can you plug this in and we can download whatever it is that you need?" Now, I'm not suggesting that these people are bringing viruses in on purpose. They just might not know that there is one on their USB device. Case in point, we had one of our own vendors come in to the office a few years ago, and they wanted to install the device USB device into our boardroom computer because it had a presentation on it. Our policy at the company is to not allow external USB sticks in unless they are scanned. So Sean, our IT manager, took the USB stick, ran a bunch of scans on it, and sure enough, it had a virus on it. So it can happen. The other thing is, of course, is one of your employees working from home brings files home from work on a USB stick, sticks it into their home computer, and they didn't update their antivirus software, and lo and behold, there's a virus on their computer, which then gets transferred onto the USB stick. So when they come back to the office to transfer the files back, then that virus from their home computer is now on their work computer, and Lord knows where it goes from there. Now, as an aside, another way to transfer files from the office to work is through a cloud service like Dropbox, but really think hard about whether or not you're going to allow people to use their own personal accounts out of convenience versus a corporate account. If they use a personal account, you really have no control over that. So certainly think about one, if you're going to allow that, and two, if so, if it's only through a connect count that the organization controls. Anyways, putting that aside, that gives you an idea why they're dangerous. The other part of how they're dangerous is they're small, they could be lost, and they could be stolen. And because things happen so quickly, do you even know what's on the USB stick? So if someone comes to the office and says, "I that my USB stick got lost or stolen," and you say, "Well, what was on it?" And they go, "Well, I don't know." Well, that's a problem. So this is where file shadowing, also called data mirroring, comes into play. So what is it? Well, it's basically the creation and storage of a copy of whatever is transferred or modified onto that USB device. So if it does get stolen or lost, you know what's on it. So how often are USB sticks lost or stolen? Well, according to the Ponemon Institute, they surveyed 400 companies. On average, each had lost 12,000 records on missing USB sticks. That's huge. Now, if you consider the cost per stolen record in the healthcare industry, according to this one study, is $429, or compared to 210 per record in the financial sector, and you multiply that out by 12,000, that's a lot of money. Huge money. Never mind the fact that you could face significant financial penalties and possible lawsuits due to non-compliance with privacy regulations. So, not to overstate this, but this has a huge financial impact if all you wanted to do is move files from one computer to another computer using a USB stick. So if you keep these staggering numbers in mind, it's easy to understand the benefits of having a file shadow policy in place. Well, first off, if before the USB device leaves your office, you already know what's on the USB stick, then you know what files are stolen or lost. and then you can know what needs to be recovered. Hopefully, you're not in a situation where whatever important file was on the USB stick, there is no other copy that exists. That's a big problem. But if you have a copy of whatever was on the stick to begin with, then that's really helpful. The other thing is if you have a copy of it and there is a malware injection and the file is corrupted, you're able to restore it because you have a copy of it. And finally, is since you know what files were lost or stolen, at least you can contact the impacted users and just warn them, change your passwords, encrypt your intellectual property or your financial records, or redact your personal data completely. So at least you have a fallback plan. You can let people know who are impacted, uh, that they have been impacted, and how. So this is great. So now we understand that USB devices are both great and dangerous. We understand file shadowing and why that's important. But how do you do it? Well, ManageEngine, of course, has Device Control Plus, which is a piece of software that allows you to do the file shadowing. It has a dashboard, gives you real-time insights, gives you lots of um, configurations and granular settings that you can set, and it also makes sure that it's done and it's verified and can keep track of everything, which is really ultimately what you want. Now, if this is something that's of interest to you, then you can download a 30-day free trial, give it a try, and see if it's something that will work in your environment. Again, the trial is free, no obligation. If you want a demo, or if you want to, if you have a question about it, or if you want to find out how much it's going to cost, you can just go to our website, manageengine.ca, and you can fill out one of our contact forms. We'd be happy to talk to you about that. Uh, and that's also where you can go to get the 30-day free trial. But even if you don't go this route, or you find a different solution to do the file shadowing, uh, or you don't do anything at all, at the very least, make sure you think long and hard with you and your team about your USB device policy. At the very least, have a strict policy of not allowing external USB sticks to come into the environment. You can also go and change the settings in Windows to not execute files when a USB device is attached to a computer. That's an important step. Make sure that whatever USB sticks are introduced into the environment, especially if they're internal, that you scan them first. Um, at least that way you know that there's no viruses on them. But you can imagine, because they're so cheap and small, that you can have hundreds of them in your environment, and you just don't have any way of controlling it. So hopefully this is food for thought. Hopefully this is helpful for you. Look forward to doing more of these, and so stay tuned for that. Hope you're healthy and safe, and that we will see you again. Have a great day. Bye for now.